348 by Galgiani. Thank you. And I'll start also with a couple just announcements. We have two members one of each party that are absent today without replacements. And there's one item for proposed consent. When enough members arrive, we will handle that. Please proceed.
Them to continue to close dangerous at-grade crossings without adverse consequences to the purposes and provisions of the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA. In 2011 through 12, the legislature adopted my bill, AB 1665, which instituted a standalone CEQA exemption affirming the CPUC's long-standing authority to close unsafe at-grade road crossings without an EIR. The new CEQA exemption is set to sunset on January 1, 2016, if no legislative action is taken. A number of fatalities occur every year in California at existing at-grade road crossings, including 29 deaths in 2014 alone. Under SB 348, public safety will be the primary consideration in at-grade crossing closures and will be handled in an expeditious manner while preserving the due process rights of the local communities affected by the closure. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. Witnesses in support?
Mr. Chairman and members, Nick Sanjani with the Public Utilities Commission, proud to sponsor the bill. Something that's not often realized is that railroad crossing fatalities account for more than any other industry the PUC regulates combined. It's just that big of a matter, including earlier this year there was a tragic derailment in your district, Mr. Chairman, that very sadly resulted in a fatality there. So we take crossing safety very, very seriously. There's been a long-standing exemption under CEQA for crossing conversions to grade separations. We view this as a complementary measure that will save lives and help the PUC preserve its mission of safe and reliable service. So we'd urge your support.
Other witnesses in support?
Mr. Chairman, members, Manny Diaz on behalf of BNSF in support.
Any other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Questions from the committee? We will not make a motion because there is not yet quorum, but when folks arrive, we will. You can be assured of a motion on your bill.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Would you like to close?
I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator. Next in sign-in order is Senator McGuire, and I do not see him or Senator Lara, so we will ask Mr. Patterson to go.
Thank you.
Mr. Patterson, you have a resolution for us?
I do. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Thank you for the opportunity to present AJR 18 to you today. Joint author Assemblyman Gatto and I will be accepting the committee's suggested amendments. Wildfire is an ever-present threat to California. It's made worse by the drought and overgrown forests. The Department of the Interior says fighting fires in California could cost $200 million more this year than the amount budgeted. When firefighting costs exceed budget projections, federal agencies borrow from other accounts meant to fund prevention projects. Let me turn the page. Land management in order to make ends meet. For 7 out of the last 12 years, the Forest Service and Department of the Interior have borrowed fire prevention funds to pay to fight fires. In 12 years, $2.7 billion has been siphoned from prevention accounts, perpetuating a devastating cycle of using prevention funds for firefighting. Assembly Joint Resolution 18 aims to address this. AJR 18 urges the California congressional delegation to support H.R. 167. It's a bipartisan piece of legislation that will establish a common-sense federal funding process to end fire borrowing by allowing suppression of serious wildfires to be funded from federal disaster accounts, similar to how relief from hurricanes and tornadoes is currently funded. By moving the cost for fighting disastrous wildfires out of the regular suppression budget, the money in the prevention accounts will go toward its intended use, making sure our national forests are well managed, fire resistant, creating significant cost savings long term. Here with me today in support of this resolution is Kristen Kolpitke of the California Forestry Association, John Gamper of the California Farm Bureau Federation.
One moment, because we now have enough for quorum. Please call the roll.
Assemblymember Williams.
Here.
Williams here. Dowling. Garcia. Hadley. Here. Hadley here. Harper. Present. Harper here. McCarty. Rendon. Here. Rendon here. Stone. Here. Stone here. Wood.
Please proceed. 2 minutes each.
Aqua, the Forestry Association, and the Nature Conservancy, and we would urge the legislature to join us in support of H.R. 167.
Mr. Chair, members, Brian White here on behalf of the California Licensed Foresters Association. We're also in support. Thank you.
Cindy Hillary on behalf of the 34 rural counties in support.
Thank you. Other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Questions from the committee? Is there a motion? Second. Second. Motion by Rendon, second by Hadley. Would you like to close?
I'll take it as my close, and thank you for the vote.
Motion is to be adopted as amended. Is that your motion? Thank you.
Assemblymember Williams.
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dolly. Garcia. Aye. Garcia, aye. Hadley. Aye. Hadley, aye. Harper. Aye. Harper, aye. McCarty. Rendon. Aye. Rendon, aye. Stone. Aye. Stone, aye. Wood.
You have 7. The bill is out.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, members.
Next in sign-in order is Senator McGuire. SJR 3.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to present, and good afternoon, members. It is an honor to be in front of you today. SGR 3 seeks to protect California's portion of the Smith River watershed from a new and proposed 3,980-acre strip mine that would impact water supplies, regional economies, and the environment within Del Norte County. The Smith River watershed flows through both California and Oregon and is considered the crown jewel of the California Wild and Scenic River system. Since the passage of the Smith River National Recreation Area Act of 1990, all federal lands in California surrounding the Smith River watershed has been protected forever. However, the Oregon portion of the North Fork of the Smith was not included in the act and as a result remains vulnerable to mining activities. The Smith River is renowned for its free-flowing status, large and abundant salmon and steelhead stocks. In fact, it's one of the most abundant on the West Coast, extraordinary botanical diversity, and is the only major undammed river left in California. The Smith is also the primary source for drinking water for Del Norte County's 28,000 residents. The Smith River is in danger of future mining activities, which will unnecessarily put the people and the wildlife that rely on the Smith at risk. Any level of contamination would have devastating and irreversible impacts on the entire watershed. And what we know is that Del Norte County's economy is based on the Smith as well, and it would impact the drinking water of Del Norte County residents as well as visitors and businesses alike. Mining operations would cause significant injury to fish and other wildlife, including the federally protected coho salmon. Finally, there is no reason to jeopardize the tens of millions of federal, state, and private dollars that have been spent on protecting the watershed, well over $500 million. The Crescent City City Council and the Del Norte County Board of Supervisors and numerous other groups have opposed mining within the Smith River watershed, and SGR 3 will prevent any mining activities from negatively impacting the people and wildlife of the California portion of the Smith. I have with me today, and I'm grateful, Mr. Stork, Senior Policy Advocate for Friends of the River, for any technical questions, and would respectfully ask for your aye vote. And thank you again, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Motion and a second. Witnesses have 2 minutes each. Please proceed.
The Smith River is well renowned for being almost the distilled water clean and clear river in the state of California and the country. Clearly, the state of California has asked for this river to be protected in the past, and it continues to do so, I think, today in this resolution, and essentially asked the Forest Service and the President and the Congress to do what they can to help protect this river on the Oregon side of the border as well. I think all Californians have an interest in doing just that, and certainly Del Norte County and folks who enjoy beautiful rivers do as well. Thanks.
Other witnesses in support?
Good afternoon, Chair and members. Charles Watson on behalf of California Trout in strong support. Thank you.
Witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition?
Yes, hello, my name is William Glover. I worked up in the Emerald Triangle area when I was a teenager, and it sounds like a good bill.
Thank you. Witnesses in opposition? To the committee. Questions? Mr. Harper.
Thank you very much. If you could help familiarize me, typically in situations like this, my first instinct is say, if this is a congressional decision, why are we getting involved? You can help illustrate why is there the urgency for us to pass this kind of resolution, and would it have any intended effect on Congress?
So the urgent piece of this is that the Nickel Corporation, which is based out of Panama, is actively exploring the strip mine on the Oregon portion, the North Fork of the Smith. And the urgency of this is that the majority of the 28,000 residents who call Del Norte County home receive their drinking water from the Smith River. In addition, the Del Norte County economy is based off of the Smith. And if we take a look at what would turn out to be one of the largest strip mines in the contiguous United States in the West, it would have a devastating impact both on the drinking water supply as well as the local economy for the Smith River, which is natural resource based. And that is why we're moving forward with this, because the Nickel Corporation is moving at such a quick pace.
Most of the decisions that the federal government has to make here will be undertaken under the 1872 mining law, which essentially presumes that mining is the highest and most beneficial use of the land. In this case, I think that's an easily rebuttable presumption, and therefore it's helpful, I think, to ask the Congress and the President to use the tools that they have to protect this river.
And Mr. Suleiman, both Senator Merkley and Wyden have expressed concern, both U.S. senators, on this issue. And then also the Oregon Water Resources Department denied the original application from the mining. But if they do find nickel, they will be granted, because of such an antiquated mining act, they would be able to advance the strip mine. So that is why we're here today asking for your support.
Similar to Senator McGuire's research, the committee has found that, in general, this is just as controversial on the Oregon side of the border. They will do their best to deny them permits, but of course the Nickel Corporation will try to enlist the support of the feds too. And so I think it's about vying for support on the feds at this point. Other questions from the committee? Is there was a motion by Mr. Rendon, a second by Stone. Would you like to close?
I would just like to thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing us to be here, and also to thank Mr. Stone and Mr. Wood for being co-authors of this resolution.
Thank you. Please call the roll. Chair's recommendation is aye.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dolly? Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Not voting.
Harper?
No.
Harper, no. McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Rendon?
Aye.
Rendon, aye. Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Wood? It's got 5.
It's got 5 votes.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Senator Lara. Are we going to have to give Mr. McGuire's constituents some Spanish lessons like my folks in Isla Vista?
Everybody can benefit from Spanish lessons. Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Let me begin by accepting the amendments suggested on page 3 of the analysis as author's amendments. SB 355 proposes to revise the composition of the San Gabriel and Lower River and Mountains Conservancy Board to ensure that a local perspective from cities on the lower LA River is included in the decision-making process. The bill creates a seat on the Conservancy for for a resident from a city that borders the lower Los Angeles River to ensure a regional balance. And the bill also adds a seat for a resident from the city along the San Gabriel River. Finally, the bill adds a member of the Senate and the Assembly as non-voting members. The RMC was created through statute in 1999 with the mission to preserve open space and provide for low-impact recreation and educational uses, wildlife habitat restoration and protection, and watershed improvements within the boundaries of the Conservancy. The territory of the RMC includes the watersheds of the San Gabriel River and the lower Los Angeles River, along with portions of the Santa Clara River and the lower Santa Ana River. The water bond approved by voters this past November provides millions of dollars in funding opportunities for the revitalization of the lower Los Angeles River, which is entirely contained in my Senate district. Many of those funds, including $30 million direct allocation for watershed improvements, and a share of the $100 million for Urban Creek restoration will be allocated through the RMC. Opportunities for improvements to the lower LA River, including parks and open space along the river, directly impact communities that border the river. It is vital that the Conservancy Board include a representation from those cities to provide a local perspective on plans and developments. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Motion by Garcia, second by Mr. Rendon. Witnesses in support?
Absolutely. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. Doug Houston, representing the Watershed Conservation Authority. This is a JPA formed between the Rivers and Mountains Conservancy and the Los Angeles County Flood Control Agency, and we're just here primarily to answer questions, but we are officially in support of this.
Mr. Chair and members, Kevin Tromer with Strategic Counsel on behalf of the Office of the Mayor of the City of Compton. The Mayor's office believes that this is an important bill that increases the opportunities for local representation and local representatives to participate in the funding allocation decisions that most impact them. Urge your support. Thank you.
Casey Elliott on behalf of the Orange County Water District. We previously had a support if amended position and would like to thank the author and his staff for working with our interests to ensure that Orange County maintains their representation on this conservancy.
Other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? To the committee. Mr. Harper, I was going to predict this one from Orange County that you would have a question.
Help me just be a little bit more familiar. Is this a joint powers authority, or is this currently created by the state of California?
The RMC was created by the state of California in 1989.
Okay, so
and a conservancy is not a joint powers agency, but it functions similar in that sometimes there are representatives that are designated from other entities.
Gotcha. And my understanding is that we're adding members that are exclusively not from Orange County, or help me out here.
No, we're adding members that are represent cities that are adjacent to the actual rivers.
Mm-hmm.
So adjacent to the San Gabriel River and adjacent to the lower LA River, which currently they do not have. We don't have representation from either of those communities.
And my understanding was that in previous versions it may have shrunk the participation of other entities, but because of the amendments that they took, it did not shrunk, and that's why Orange County entities removed their opposition.
So for the new seats, would people from the cities that border the San Gabriel River, like Seal Beach, Los Alamitos, Cypress, and other communities, would they be eligible for these new seats?
As long as they are adjacent to the San Gabriel River and the lower LA River, they would be.
Okay, so it's either LA County or Orange County.
No, there's one for the lower LA River, and there's one for the San Gabriel River.
Okay, help me out. All the cities that I just mentioned are Orange County cities that are adjacent to the San Gabriel River.
They would be eligible.
Yes, they would be eligible. And just to note that the seat that they currently have has been vacated for 5 years.
Okay.
So, I would first ask them to fill that seat that's been vacant, and those cities, my understanding, do qualify for these seats.
Thank you for your clarification. It sounds like my office may help encourage some more people to apply to be involved in this organization. Thank you.
Mr. Wren.
I just want to thank the author for bringing this bill forward. I'm a co-author. He and I have been working on this issue, the issue of the lower river, for some time through this bill and through other efforts. I took a kayaking trip this Saturday, along the LA River. It was nowhere close to our district, nowhere close to your district, my district, or Ms. Garcia's district. It was very far away, but it was very beautiful, and it was really inspiring. And we know a lot of the restoration that's happening in the upper river. We know that those restoration efforts are a result of, quite frankly, of political decisions, and the best way to make sure that political decisions happen along the entirety of the river is through adequate representation, and that's why I think this is such an important bill. So thanks for bringing this forward.
The Chair's recommendation is aye. We've heard from the committee. Would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your vote, members.
Thank you, Senator. Roll call, please.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dolly? Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Hadley?
Aye.
Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty? Aye. McCarty, aye. Rendon? Aye. Rendon, aye. Stone? Aye. Stone, aye. Wood?
Bill is out. Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
We do have consent calendar, and we do have one bill that we met as a subcommittee and didn't have quorum for. We have one item on consent, which is item number 4, SB 662 from the Environmental Quality Committee. Motion by Hadley, second by Stone for the consent calendar. Please call the roll.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dolly? Garcia? Aye. Garcia, aye. Hadley? Aye. Hadley, aye. Harper?
Aye.
Harper, aye. McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Rendon?
Aye.
Rendon, aye. Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Wood? It's got 7.
7 votes is out. This is Senate Bill 348 by Galgiani. This is a CEQA exemption. Mr. Stone moves a CEQA exemption. That might be the first motion. One and only CEQA exemption from Mr. Stone. Is there a second? Motion and a second. by Garcia. Chair's recommendation is aye. Please call the roll.
Assemblymember Williams?
Aye.
Williams, aye. Dowling? Garcia? Garcia, aye. Hadley? Aye. Hadley, aye. Harper?
Not voting.
McCarty?
Aye.
McCarty, aye. Rendon?
Aye.
Rendon, aye. Stone?
Aye.
Stone, aye. Wood. It's got 6.
It's got 6 votes. The bill is out. And that concludes the business of the Assembly Natural Resources Committee. Lest you be lulled into sense of security, there will be more Senate bills coming later in the calendar. But appreciate everyone getting up as quickly as possible after session. Thank you so much.